Greetings, family. Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa. Today is the first day of Kwanzaa, and so I have a question for you. Habari Gani. Your response to that is the first principle of Kwanzaa, which is umoja, which is unity, which means to strive for and maintain unity within the family, community, nation, and race. One of the things that I love about Kwanzaa is the reflection factor, right? So every day we talk about these principles and we reflect on how we have used these principles throughout the past year. And, whether you've used them or not, maybe you haven't. And so you admit to that, like, you know what, I really didn't practice unity this year. And so after that reflection, then the question is, well, how do you plan on using unity um, in the coming year? And I really, really, really love that because it uh, creates an environment for your family to actually hold you accountable to do what you say you're going to do. And so, since we're ending this year, I feel like we should end the year the way we started. And I know that many, many people around the world do New Year's resolutions, and a lot of those resolutions includes finances. So I was having a conversation with a girlfriend about financial discipline. And I said, you know what? Unity within the family a lot of times is broken because of financial discipline or people not being disciplined in their finances. And so I figured, you know what? I can give you some tips to head into the year 2020 on ways to be more financially disciplined in your life so that you can strive for maintaining that unity balance in not just yourself, but your family, your community, your nation, and your race, right? So let's get started. So I was looking up financial discipline because I can talk this stuff all day, but for whatever reason, when I go to record a video, I can't remember nothing. So, so, so I went online and I was like, let me just come up with some tips. Um, you know, maybe four things or five things to talk about how to be or develop good financial habits and be more financial disciplined in the coming year. So I did write some notes, but I found this definition from Quicken, right? And so Quicken defines financial discipline as how well we conform our spending and saving to the plans we have set to achieve our monetary goals. I love this definition because when I first looked at it, I was like, man, there's like four words in there that really stuck out to me. And in my opinion, are the foundation to how we develop new financial habits. And so I'm going to read the definition again, see if you can pick up on these four words. Again, financial discipline is defined as how well we conform our spending and saving to the plans that we have set to achieve our monetary goals. So those four words in that definition are goals, plans, spending, and saving, right? I really feel like I said before, that those four words are the foundation to how we develop new financial habits. So I'm just going to go through each one of them and try to go over some pointers. I'm going to talk about myself because that's what I do. I'm very transparent on ways that I need to be more financially disciplined in the year 2020 um, um, to create these new habits, right? So one thing I want to point out is that it's not about how much money you make, right? It's really about what you do with the money you have. That's what counts. So keep that in mind as I go through these four, let's call them principles, financial discipline principles. I like that. All right, so the first one is to establish goals, right? So you really need to have goals set, short-term and long-term goals. If you don't know what you're working towards, trust me, you will not be working towards anything. And at the end of the year, you're going to be sitting there like thinking, what the heck did I do with all the money that I made? Right? And one of the things is like when I get my W-2s, I'm like, I made that much? Where is it at? You know what I'm saying? So we don't want that to be the case, right? So we want to have some goals. Short-term goals are super important because one, when you set short-term goals, like a 3-month goal, and you reach that goal, it just you're developing a habit to continue to reach longer goals. You know what I mean? So you actually, and once you hit that goal, you can reward yourself and say, oh my goodness, I made it. I made it to this 2-month goal. It might not seem like a big thing, but when you have that feeling of success in that area, then you're more apt to continue that success, if that makes any sense. So the first thing is establish some goals, long term and short term. Write them down on a pad, right? Write them down. Place them everywhere around the house so that you always see that goal. Let friends know about your goals so that they can remind you of what your goal is. So when you out there shopping with your girlfriend, she'd be like, "Girl, I thought you was trying to do this and do that," right? So for the sake of this video, let's just say I have a goal to save $20,000 by the end of 2020. Let's say December this time next year, I want to have $20,000 in the bank. All right, so that's my goal for this video. Number two is to make a plan, right? So now I have a goal in mind, but how do I get there? I got to have some type of plan, right, in place to remain disciplined. And so that means I got to create some guidelines for myself to follow. And so let's think about this. So if my goal is $20,000 by the end of the year, next year, 2020, what does that look like on a monthly basis, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, the goal is 20,000. That means every month I need to save $1,666.67 a month, right? That's a monthly goal. Now, or that's a plan to get to that end goal. But that seems really large, right? $1,600 a month. Like, I don't know if I even have that as discretionary income. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plan to get to that. So my plan to get to that is, okay, well, what does that look like weekly? Weekly, that's $416.67 a week. That's a little bit more doable, maybe. I don't know. And so $416 is the plan. Now, how do I get to that? What am I going to do in my life on a weekly basis to make sure I'm saving $416 a week? Maybe I can start driving Uber, 1 week in a month to get closer to that. Maybe I need to start shaving off some things in my spending habits, But now I have this financial picture, right? I can see it. I can see that 416 is the plan I need a week in order to get to that $20,000 at the end of the year. It's like a financial dashboard. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that I have to reach it every week. It doesn't mean like, okay, 416 is the plan to get to 20,000. So every week I got to get to 416. No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is that, okay, I know 416 a week is what I need to get to 20. So as each week comes, maybe I don't hit 416. Maybe I get to 200. Okay, but I can see that now. So maybe I can create a spreadsheet and say 416 is the goal. This week I made it to 200. Next week I got to do something else to make it to 200 or higher, right? And so I'm constantly trying to reach that 416. And it's like that phrase that they say, when you reach for the moon and you land among the stars, right? So we're going to shoot for the moon and we're going to land among the stars. We're going to be somewhere up there in that atmosphere, right? We're going to be closer than we would be if we didn't establish a plan to reach a goal, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. So you need a plan on how you're going to get there. And there's several ways to do that. So let's get to point number 3. And I think that's going to kind of wrap up how we create a plan to get to that goal. So number 3 is to be accountable for our spending. Ooh, this is this is a personal challenge for me. How do we be accountable? How do we hold ourselves accountable for our own spending? There's a couple of ways. There's 2 very specific ways that I found in my research that I really, really like. And so I'm going to be implementing these things in the year 2020. So the first one is learn to start asking yourself questions before you spend money. All right. So some of those questions are, do I really need this? Right? So there's a difference between a need and a want. And one of the conversations I was having with my girlfriend, I love her to death, but I was having this conversation with her about whether or not she really needs this thing that she wants. So long story short, her stove has some issues. It's still under warranty. Her home warranty can fix it, right? But she wants this stove with like double ovens and she can bake 2 different things at the same time at different temperatures and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Well, how are we going to pay for this, right? Because there's nothing wrong with having a want. If you can pay for it, by all means, get it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you got to limit yourself and not get the things that you want. However, when that purchase becomes a burden, right, or creates a debt that you're not really ready for, that's when I gotta be like, wait a minute, that's not good financial discipline. That's not a good financial habit. So the question is, how are you gonna pay for this new double oven stove that you want when your current one is still under warranty, right? And so, let's say you had a 0% interest credit card. Oh, I just put on 0% interest credit card. That'll solve it. Well, no, not really. Not really. You know why? Because even though it's 0% interest, it's still adding a balance that you got to pay on, right? So it increases the balance, which means it increases your minimum payment that you have to pay on. And if you have other debts that you're paying on, now you've just added another debt that's unnecessary. So the very first question really is, do I really need it? And not just that, but do I need it at this moment in my life, right? Like, are you becoming a baker? Are you changing careers on me? Like, if that's not the case, continue to use the same stove that you've been using for years. Let your home warranty pay for that, and life goes on, right? So that's not an expense that you necessarily need, right? It's not a necessity. Um, so the other part of it is, if it's something that you want and you are financially able to pay for it, then you should be able to pay for it with cash, not a credit card, right? So if you have debts that's taking away your disposable income because you have these other debts, wait till those debts get close to being paid off before you buy the things that you really, really want, because then at that point you can pay cash, right? You don't have to worry about it putting it on a 0% interest credit card. Just buy it outright, right? That's better financial discipline to do it that way. Okay, so that question, do I really need it? The next question is, and this one got me. Is this what I came in the store to get? Like, how many times have you gone to stores, Walmart in particular, right? And you went in there for one or two things and you come out with a cart full of stuff. So, as you start piling things into your cart, ask yourself, is this what I came in this store to get? And the funny thing is, I say this to my daughter all the time. Rossi, we didn't come in here for that. She's asking for, and really is when we get to the register. She doesn't ask for a whole lot as we're walking through the store. Thank God I got a child like that. But when we get to the register and she see all that stuff at the register, she be like, Mommy, look. Oh, look, this got a fan. Oh, look. Oh, I can blow and eat candy at the same time. Ross, we ain't coming to the store for that. That's the first thing comes out my mouth. But I don't say that to myself. I don't ask myself that same question. Did I come in the store for this? So now my challenge is going to be in the year 2020. As much as I say that to my child, I'm going to start saying it to myself, right? Is this what I came in here for? Okay. Can I do without it? So I think that's self-explanatory. It's kind of the same thing when I was talking about the stove, right? Right now the stove is under warranty. Can I do without that double oven? Do I absolutely need that in my life right now? No, probably not. Probably not, right? So you ask yourself that, can I do without it? And then the next thing is, and this one is really, this one's hard for me. Am I buying this out of emotion just to feel good? Y'all, I am an emotional spender and I am very, very, very impulsive. Very impulsive. I know that about myself. I do. I recognize it. So I am constantly at battle with myself in a tug of war of, oh, this feels so good to get it, but I don't really need it. So I got to put it back. So I will walk around the store for like 2 hours with something in my cart. And by the time I get to the register, I'm like, I'm putting this back. I'm putting this back. Like, oh, it happened to me on Christmas Eve, y'all. I was buying candles for my lanai because I'm putting my lanai together. And I saw some candles and I saw some black candles. I was like, oh, it's black. Oh, so it like pulled at my emotions. And then I saw zodiac candles. I was like, oh, Rossi, you can get one for Cancer and I'll get one for Libra. I had them things in my cart. I did. It pulled at me emotionally. I was like, oh, and it's black, right? It's bad. I got to the register, y'all. And I told that cat, and it was the last thing. Like, I kept pushing it back. I was putting other stuff on the register, on the belt. And I kept pushing that back to the back of the cart. And I finally got to that thing, and I was just like, what am I getting this for? For what? I got other candles. Why I need one that say Libra? Why? So be mindful of those things that pull at your emotions. Be mindful of the times that you're legit only buying it because it makes you feel good. or whatever. And again, if you're in a financial position to buy the things that make you feel good, fine. But if it's gonna pull on your finances or strain you a little bit, or you're using a credit card to buy, now I was paying for stuff with cash, but still, it still was one of those purchases like I don't. Why am I getting this? You know what I'm saying? So I really like the aspect of asking yourself questions. This is how we can hold ourselves accountable for our spending. The second way we can hold ourselves accountable for our spending is to challenge ourselves. I really like this one too. So establish some challenges, right? So one of those challenges could be I'm going to cook every day for 30 days. Now 30 days may be a bit much, so maybe you can start off with 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, we're only going to eat what's in this house, right? And we will scrap some stuff together, but we are not eating anywhere outside of this house. And that includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that means you got to be a little bit more disciplined in, in fixing your lunch for the day. Which is something that I am not good at. I'm gonna tell y'all, when I was married, my ex-husband, man, he fixed my lunch every day. Every day. I just be leaving the house, right? So what happens then? I get to work and I'm hungry and I gotta go purchase something. So that's an expense that I don't need when I got food right here in the house. All I have to do is be disciplined to pack that thing up at night, right? So establish a challenge for yourself to not eat outside of your house for however length of time will be good for you. Another one is not buying any new clothes for 60 days. I don't have a problem with this, but this might be a good one for some of you. I'm in Hawaii. I'm wearing tank tops and shorts every day and some flip flops. It's like I ain't trying to impress nobody, right? And other than that, I'm in uniform, so I don't have this issue. But this might be a good challenge for you to avoid purchasing clothes for 60 days. And then after that 60 days, you may say like, I didn't need anything anyway. Go through your closet and start pulling out things that you haven't worn and make it purposeful to wear those things you haven't worn in a very long time. And you can start mixing and matching and create new outfits, right? So it's almost like going shopping in your own closet. Another challenge is to avoid shopping as entertainment. Hey girl, what you doing? Girl, I'm about to go shopping. Girl, I'm coming with. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that in 2020. That is not our form of entertainment. But we need to find some other forms of entertainment. Okay, get some crackers and some cheese, and come to the house and sit and let's watch a movie. Let's talk. Let's have some girls talk. We're not going shopping as entertainment. Okay, girl, we going to the outlets. No, why? For what? You got clothes in the closet, right? Ain't nothing too small. You good? You know what I'm saying? So that's a good challenge, right? Avoid shopping as entertainment. We're not doing that in 2020. Here's one that I'm probably going to make another video and I'm going to show it to you on my phone and I'm going to go through my emails and show you that I'm doing it, right? So unsubscribe from all these retail newsletters that offer you irresistible deals. So I get text messages from all these places that's like, hey, it's the last chance to shop at Cyber Monday. Hey, it's December, it's clearance, buy one, get one half. It's happening now, and it just makes it like hard to resist. Unsubscribe. Y'all, I've actually done really well this year not purchasing from those places, but I still get the newsletters. And so I see them and it's like, oh, if I just, let me just go see what they got. You know what I mean? Let me see what they have. Unsubscribe. I get my release to receive at yahoo.com email is blown up with just store newsletters telling me whenever they have a deal. I've been deleting them. Delete. But the fact that I'm getting them anyway, like just unsubscribe. I think that makes it easier to establish this new financial discipline habit that we're trying to have. All right, and then the very last one is set a monetary goal to not spend over a certain amount. So like for instance, I'm gonna set a limit. That's what I meant, a limit, not a goal, but a limit of $50. So any purchase that will come up over 50, I gotta wait 24 hours before I purchase it. I like that one. So you can help yourself be accountable for your spending by challenging yourself, establishing challenges, and then asking yourself these questions before you purchase anything. All right, let's move on to the last one because this video is getting long. So the fourth one is to create a savings by paying yourself first. I'm gonna